Good day, podcast community. Pete Kane here, community builder, and we've got a special guest on the show. We had to do a little bit of pivoting. That's kind of life. You always got to adapt to the situation so we have a clear signal. So Andrew is our guest, and I want Andrew to introduce himself, who he is, what he does, and who he serves, and then we'll get into our podcast. Andrew, just share with us. Okay.
Good. My mic was off. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're coming through loud and
Yeah.
clear.
So my name's Andrew. I run a local headlight restoration business here in Knoxville, Tennessee. So like how the headlights get all foggy and faded on your cars, I make them clean and clear again. And I teach people online how to make their first $5,000 to $10,000 a month with creating their own premium headlight restoration business. So it's a business that for them that they can outcharge anyone else in their area, not overcharge, but also never have to deal with competition. So what I find is people, they typically are like, oh, well, there's a guy cheaper in my town. I can't do this. But what I love about doing headlights, and this is something that has just kind of, I call it sneaky Jesus. For me, every time I do a set of lights here locally, I'm reminded of God's grace that, before I met him and he saved me, I was a wreck and I couldn't see. But after he saved me, I was clean, clear, and have a vision and purpose. And so for me, I have this weird superpower where I will never stop doing what I do because I'm truly doing it for helping people. I love the game, if you will. And so, now that I've been doing this, we've got over 200,000 followers across social media, which is wild that, just being faithful to God is like, he opens the door. But now these other people are trying to come up and they're wanting to, be a TikTok famous person and they're after the money side. And so I've already seen it. Several people, they come up, they start for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then they're like, well, I'm not making any money, and they quit. For me, I'll never stop doing this because of the passion I have behind it, the sneaky Jesus aspect.
I love it. Tell our viewers, like, I know we were sharing before we switched over, my son-in-law, who's a mechanic, and it's kind of a complicated business. There's always different kinds of cars. But I remember when he replaced headlights, it was like a new car.
Night and day, yeah.
Because your car looked brilliant, shining, the lights were better. It was like a little, what I thought would be just a minor change was major.
Oh, yeah.
What is it that people love about headlights that is so appealing that you've seen in your business?
Yeah, I mean, there's two things. One, spiritually, I relate it to, windows are the eye of the soul. So if you have two vehicles sitting side by side with that analogy, like we'll say it's a 2001 Lexus sedan. If one of them has an amazing Carfax history, was always changed the oil on time, but the headlights are foggy and faded, and then this one over here was put away wet, driven hard, never changed the oil, but its headlights are clear. If someone comes to buy them, they're going to go for the one that has clear headlights because visually it looks like it was taken care of better. And so, I do a lot of stuff with partnerships with dealerships and mechanics to where because what most of them do, they say, oh, well, we can restore it or we can just get some aftermarket lights for $200 or less and throw them on, which still works. The thing that most of them don't realize is the cheap aftermarket lights, they're cheaper for a bunch of different reasons. The biggest thing is they don't have any UV protection on the outside. So there's no sunscreen. Picture like we send our toddler to the beach. We don't need sunscreen on little Johnny. They're going to get roasted in 30 minutes. Yeah. But we wouldn't be confused if it was our kid. We'd be like, well, of course they got sunburned. We didn't put sunscreen. But when it comes to headlights and they just replace them. Now, if they use OEM, the factory lights, they're going to be good. But I think, coming back to that question, I think the other thing that it is that's so satisfying, it's like cutting the grass. It's that almost instant gratification. You get that before and after where the light looks, 97 years old, and then it looks youthful and new again. And it's, even if you didn't clean the whole rest of the car, if the car has clean lights, it's like, wow, you just took 10 years off of that age of the vehicle. Visually. Yeah.
And I think the instant gratification, the visualization, when you can see results quickly, I mean, it gives you so much confidence and you're so excited about, as opposed to 6 months from now, I'm going to see some results. When you first got started, like what were you doing that got you into restoration of headlights? That you not stumbled, but found this this part of your life and part of what you're doing?
So I was actually running a mobile detailing company, and so I was out there. I was all day doing the same mobile aspect. Take the convenience side to the customer, give them a clean car. But once we started having kids, we have 4 kids. We have identical twin 6-year-olds. We have a 3-year-old son, and then we have an almost 2-year-old daughter. And once we started having kids, I just said, okay, yes, we're making good money, but I'm coming home at like 6 o'clock, right at bedtime, totally exhausted, dehydrated, cooked from the sun. And so that prayer was that my wife and I were praying. It was like, Lord, let us find a way to make more money with less time, or the same money with less time. And immediately, this is just how stubborn I am. I'm a slow learner. Immediately, I started then arguing, well, God, how am I supposed to do less work and make more money? That doesn't make any sense. And so for 3 months, I was already doing headlight restoration. If I came to your car and detailed it and it needed it, well, hey, let's get this done. But for 3 months, I'm fighting it. That doesn't make any sense. How am I supposed to do this? And the moment, I still remember it like it was today. The moment that we said, let's just burn the boats and go all in. I'm literally, I don't know if you can see this. I'm literally getting goosebumps remembering this.
Wow.
I go into a Mercedes dealership in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where we lived at the time. And I pitch my service to them. Hey, this is who I am and what I do. I'm not even kidding. I did not even get to do my normal pitch and let me do a demo and show you what I do. He literally sees my business card with a clear before and after on it. At the time, I had a standard price. It was just across the board, $125. I walk in. He says, pardon my language, but this is what he said. Where the hell have you been? We could have used you 3 months ago. I literally left. I called my wife as soon as I was leaving, and I'm bawling my eyes out, because just like God, when he says something, that door was already open. But I was fighting it. I was like, well, no, the second guessing it, and well, that doesn't make sense. And I left crying, because it's like, how good of God that he said, hey, I spoke a word, that door's already wide open, and I was just ignoring it. Like, no, it's not. We're good. And then the same day, he also connected me. Before, what I was doing was I'd go to each dealership. It'd take you all day to hit 5 or 6 and do demos and all this stuff and introducing myself. Well, when I leave the Mercedes dealership, he says, hey, you should go 3 doors down to the auto auction and talk to this guy. He's the general manager. I didn't know it was, but that ends up being the general manager of the entire auction, where all the dealerships come to buy their cars. So then I go over there. He was like, wow, I love this. This is awesome. You should come set up a table here on our next auction day. I'm naive. I didn't know anything about it. They never let vendors for what we like, the wheel repair guy, the paint touch-up guy, the dent repair guy. They never let him in there. He has me set up a table at the front door where every single dealership in town has to go past me to get in to buy their cars. And I was just like, what was funny was I learned from that moment, because I didn't get a single dealership that actually was like, hey, I love this. But what I was just reminded of is, like, when God speaks and he calls us to something, he's doing it for a reason. So whether it's, hey, I gave you a passion for sewing, or I gave you a passion to create homeschool education curriculum for your kids. He's not doing it so that he can just say, ha, you can't do this. Look at you. He's doing it because he gave us that unique aspect of his creativity that only we can do. And so that's not saying it's going to be easy, but if he called us to do something, it's for a purpose and a reason.
Yeah. That is so good. What you were talking about, a gentleman that is in a real small town. Would you mind sharing that story and how his business kind of got an extra boost or some light to continue?
Yeah, no pun intended. Some extra light. So this guy, he's in his mid to late 50s, which is young, but he owns a mom and pop. Him and his wife run a mom and pop corner market, like a farmer's market. And he messages me and he's saying that, hey, we're looking at having to shut the doors down and close the business. He came across my videos, and all my videos online, if you look up how to restore headlights, it's here's how I do it. Here's the products I use. Go do it. Go make money. And so he's doing between 5 and 10 sets a month. That's it. Not a lot. Not like quitting his job and doing this, but all he has is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper on his front door. It literally looks, I laugh when I see it. It literally looks like, something a kid would have printed out.
Yeah.
But it just says something like, if you need your headlights restored, ask us at the front desk. And then he has another one right there next to the little tap to pay thing.
Yeah.
And that small extra boost, he's now able to keep his doors open.
Wow.
And so it's, most of us, I think oh, that business, my friend had a business and it had to close. Like they must have been losing $10,000 a month, but it's oftentimes small. It's smaller than $1,000 usually. Of
Yes.
hey, I'm going to lose my car, or I'm going to lose my house and get kicked out, or I'm going to lose my business. And so that small extra boost kept him afloat. And he said he loves doing it. He's like, I've never thought about this. I never even thought this was the thing I'd be doing. But he said now it's the new aspect, but it's like he enjoys that, the headlight restoration, more than his daily business. So which is cool because over time, people in his area, I just know how it works. They're going to hear that he does this. He loves doing it. It's fun. So he's going to put more into the fun thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he'll go full time doing that, but
Right.
It's just cool to see the different avenues of how headlight restoration can change people's life if they want to make 100K a year.
Yeah.
Or more. That's 100K a year solo. That's by yourself.
Wow.
So,
and that, like you were sharing before, there's no shortage of cars with headlights. I don't know too many that don't have headlights.
Yeah, and that's what's cool. If you want to and this is what we help people in our premium offer is if someone wants to scale and go big, they can with networking groups, you can get yourself into any networking group. Now they might think it's weird if well, hey sir, like we're a real estate thing. Everyone drove a car there. It's hey, we're a maybe they're a real estate investment group. Hey, everyone drove a car there. If it's a dentist network, like it doesn't matter what it is. Every person who went there, they have a vehicle that can either be protected so that they never fade, or they have a beater, an older car that needs them restored, and you can make that introduction. It's
this
not
is
fair.
3 years back, but I don't know if it was a video or something, but they said put toothpaste on it, and so I did it. It didn't work, but it was like, so you hear certain things, and some work, some don't. What do you think? Having somebody. I'm a firm believer that $500 extra a month can change a person, because the things you can do, whether you want to go on a vacation, whether you want to save for something, it doesn't take a lot of money, but it takes consistency to be able to produce and bring that revenue to 500 a month can change a person's life.
Yeah.
What you mentioned, like getting started on YouTube, which people will ask me, what was it like when you first started and you were just thinking, okay, I want to do some education, I want to put some videos out there. What were you thinking, and what was it like?
Yeah, so for me, I truly started making videos for myself. It was a way to journal and document. Okay, I figured I'm going to keep doing this. I might as well film it. And then a year from now, I can look back and say, have I gotten better? And within 30 to 60 days, I think it was less than 30, but we'll say it was 60 days. I was getting so many comments of how do you do this? How do you get customers? And like, what grit do I start at? And what products do I use? And it kind of just blew up really fast. Started with TikTok. That was my first, thing. But what was really cool was even at we had less than 10,000 followers. I ended up getting two, they call them brand deals, but I ended up getting two things from different brands that reach out to me that I've never been and I still don't consider myself an influencer. But I was like, this is different. How do I even go about this? So I accidentally, I'm not kidding. This is just God opening awesome doors. I accidentally ended up in the Windex commercial for their new foaming glass cleaner. Because what I do, typically when you see someone do a restoration, they use a bottle with soap and water in it and they spray it down. They use that to wet sand. I use Sprayway foaming glass cleaner because it keeps the mess up on the lights, less mess. It's what I use. And so someone from Windex reached out. They flew me to Chicago for 3 days, and I don't say this to impress anyone. It's just like to impress upon you that like whatever you do, you can make an income off of it. That Windex commercial ended up paying 10 grand.
Wow.
And I'm like, how good is God that he can just take something and just keep showing like, hey, you think you're small, you think woe is me, watch this. And can drop you in a situation where he just blows your doors off. And it doesn't have to be a dollar amount. It could be someone reaching out. Like I've had NFL players reach out to me, which I'm not a sports guy. So my brother-in-law is a big sports guy. He's like, I said, hey, is this guy big? Like, is this legit? A guy from the Dolphins, maybe. I think the football team. He reaches out to me. He's like, hey, my little brother has a Honda Accord. How do I do this? And so like, you just get to meet some really cool people no matter what you do. But really fast, I found people love this. They want more of it. And my page kind of blew up overnight, if you will. And I totally, like, it's all credit to God, because I just was in a place where God knew I would be faithful to steward the gift. Because if I asked myself, well, I've made videos before, and I would do Facebook Lives where I had no one on there for 2 hours, but I was still practicing. I was putting in the reps.
Yes.
Like, if I had this then, I would have fumbled the blessing, because at the time I was like, I did think I want to be famous. I want to be this. Now it doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
I treat it like I have 300 followers. And so, I think that comes across in my videos. Like, I can relate to this guy. He's not afraid to share his faith.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I'm open about I love Jesus. But I have people that they'll like let me know, which is kind of silly, but they'll message me, hey, just so you know I'm an atheist, or just so you know I'm this, but I love your content. I'm like, I'm not going to shove it down your throat. Like, I truly want you to have money. Yeah. Because I know every seed that you plant must bear fruit.
Yes.
So, when you get the haters, I thank them for commenting. I'm weird. I'm like, hey, thank you so much for being generous and making time to comment. Because now I know they exist, and now I can pray for them.
That is so good. What you were mentioning when you were doing mobile detail and you'd come home, you're worn out, beat from the heat, and your prayer was that God would show you a better way to honor your family and be able to be there for your kids as they're growing up. Could you share a little bit about that story with our community?
So for me, the reason I've always had that desire, even before we had kids, I grew up, my dad, he does not like this joke. I've told him multiple times, hey, this is not a dig at you. This is actually, I love your work ethic. I joke and I say we had joint custody with my dad. Like, his work had him Monday through Friday. We had him on weekends. And, by the time we woke up, he was already on his way to work. And when we came home and went to bed, he was still at work. And so I knew from early on, I want to find a way. I didn't know what it was, but I want to find a way to be present with my kids so that they don't grow up, dad's at work, and headlight restoration has literally allowed us. And again, I'm so naive. I didn't know this is not normal, but I get to be one of the only dads who drops our kids off to school and picks them up. Their friends have birthday parties. I get to be there. Just like on a Tuesday afternoon at 1:00, I can take them to the park or whatever and really be present. And then also, this is what's crazy about headlights. Since they're everywhere, you can really work from home. So for instance, if someone's on a fixed income, but they want to take a vacation, they can do a few sets of lights, get the stay paid for, get the fuel paid for to get down there wherever they're going. And then when they get there, and it's simple to do this. I show people how to do this. When they get there, do a few sets in the morning that they've scheduled already because they're like running ads or something for that area. Do it 2 or 3 sets in the morning and be done. And have the whole day, be done by 10. Have the whole day to go spend and hang out with your family. So you don't have to, like, let's save for 2 years to go to Florida. Like, go work for 3 or 4 months, do headlights, and then go to Florida. Because my belief is, like, we can make money a bajillion different ways. We can never get the time back.
Yeah.
For me, and I have a lot of friends with kids that are grown, and they all say, be careful, don't blink, because next thing you know, they're graduating. Next thing you know, they're getting married.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Having 2 daughters and 6 granddaughters, and then my granddaughters are from 12 to 1, a little over 1. Wow. They grow up fast. I remember holding my 12-year-old in my arms, and blink 12 years later, she's so yes, it does make a difference. And what my son-in-law, because he has his shop out of the house, he's able to be there and be present more, because when he tried to do it working for some dealership, I mean, they basically own you, so you can't have that flexibility. Yeah. But I want you to speak, because we met each other through the Skool community, and I'm a big proponent of reoccurring, because you have a freedom number, and it's not a big number. It's just a number above what it takes to live. Tell us a little bit about what Skool is meant to you and how has that helped you in your growth of your business and being available for your family more?
Yeah, the biggest shift that I had with the Skool page, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this is just a separate like Facebook group thing. I just didn't know.
Mhm.
What I will say with the Skool and like realizing the true potential of something like that platform is I've always said I'm never going to stop doing headlights, even if we're making, 100K a month. But really quickly, like for instance, we're getting our van wrapped right now. And because of Skool and where we're going with that, I was very intentional not to include my logo here locally in the main wrap. It's a separate thing so that once I make that switch, I can just take that logo off and still keep the cool wrap. But what's really wild is, for instance, even if a friend of mine has a group, he charges $47 a month. That's it. And I see that number. I'm like, well, that's a small number. How does that add up? But he's doing over $20,000 a month from a $47 group. And it's just like, man, your financial blueprint between this, the 6 to 8 inches between your ears,
Yeah.
we all have one,
Yep.
like we do, whether we realize it or not. And just realizing there is a better way if it's, and I'm sure you've seen this too, but if you just go to the Discovery platform, I'm blown away every day of the wild niches that are making money, not just like they created
Yeah.
it. There
Yes.
was one when I first heard of Skool 2.5 years ago. There was a group in there, and all he does is make cat memes, like meow cat.
Yeah.
He had 5,000 members. They were all paying $1 a month. And what's cool about the Skool group is, once even at 20 people, they're all able to post their own cat memes. So even at 20 people, it's hands off. But I'm like, this guy's making $5,000 a month doing nothing.
Yeah.
And there's people out there like you and I who, the lady who has an art class. This is my favorite story in there. She's in school. She has an art studio locally, like a brick and mortar business where you
Yeah.
can come in and learn how to paint.
Mhm.
And she was just struggling with people that would come from, other cities to visit family. They do a paint class. Hey, I love you, but I want to connect, but I can't because I'm out here. And so she started a Skool group. And on Sundays, she just does a live call in her group. And she teaches people all over the world now how to paint just through a video. And the first month she did it, she made an extra $8,000 off of what she's already doing. She
Yeah.
just takes it and says, hey, come to join this. And how she does it, very physical. Like when they come in person, she's like, hey, by the way, I know you're out of state. Come join this thing. It's XYZ a month, whatever her thing is. And then it just allows them to stay connected. Like they already raised their hand. Hey, we love what you do, but we're sad we have to leave. It's like the long distance relationship, if you will, can now work because of something like Skool.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, like you said, like it doesn't have to be a big number. Like you don't have to make $100,000 a month.
Yeah.
If your bills are $4,000 a month, but you make 4,050, you're technically financially free.
Yeah. Exactly. And
So
I've coached people, and we'll go over early on their financial goals, and I'll hear I want to make $1 million, and it's like it's ingrained in us that we got to have this big number, but you just have to have your number just a little bit above your overhead,
yeah,
and then it frees you up to do whatever you want to do. Spend time with your kids, spend time with your family,
yeah,
do what you want to do. I had a friend who was after me for quite a while about Skool, and I don't do social media. I used to be in it before my stroke, and I got away from it to give my brain a break
yeah,
and repair. So I was kind of thinking it's just another social media platform, and he
right,
kept after me and saying, "No, I think you gotta discover." It's not what you think. It's not a Facebook group. It's not a social platform. It's a way for you to be able to go global
right,
with whatever you want to do. And because you get emails and you have so many ways to engage with your community, you
yeah,
just don't have to be everywhere. You just have to be somewhere. And
yeah.
somewhere is on that Skool. What would you say, like, if you had to like talk to a 15, let's say 18-year-old Andrew, and you know what you know now, what's the one bit of advice you would give him?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like on the real side, it's like we can never go backwards, but I think like knowing what happened, I would just say, hey, listen, hold fast. Like it's going to be really hard for a little bit, but what's really cool is the outcome is way more beautiful than you could ever imagine. But I have to kind of take that question and modify it just a little. I have teenagers that are in high school and like fresh into college who message me all the time. Hey, I kind of want to do this as a summer thing. What do you recommend? All the time. A week or two later, hey, I just want to say thank you so much. I just made $1,000 last week, and it's just like helping them. And I love that Skool is spelled differently. Like,
Yes.
okay, you hear Skool, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to go back to school. Like I remember saying, as soon as I get out of school, I'm never going back to school. And like, the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know. And so I love that Skool is spelled differently, because a traditional school, they kind of, everyone's getting indoctrinated, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
But like, they're kind of indoctrinating you to be an employee, to just get by, like just over broke, go get the job. Skool is different. You can learn a skill about, I saw one yesterday that just started about RC cars. It's like remote control cars.
Yeah.
And their whole thing is they teach you, and it's new, so they haven't like fine tuned it, but basically they teach you how to modify them, how to repair them, how to, have the most fun with it. So like you can take a hobby that you love and just create a school group with it, even if it's free. And before you know it, you'll have people that start asking, hey, well, what about this? And what about that? And you can say, oh, well, maybe I should charge $20 a month, whatever it is.
Yes.
And it's like just letting yourself know. One of my mentors told me this, and I did not get it at first. I now fully believe it, but he said, never be so sure of something that you're willing to say no to something better. And never be so sure of something that you're willing to say no to something better. That's how I describe Skool. Oh, I know what it is. It's one of those things, whatever that thing is. Listen, all I'm saying is just come give it a try. Come look at it.
Yeah.
Like, what's the best thing that can happen?
Yeah, that we call it that fixed versus growth mindset. Is so many times we have this belief about something, and it holds us back from really truly understanding what it can do. And it's our own little limited belief, whatever you want to call it, holds us back from so much.
Yeah.
When we're about to come up on our 250th anniversary, and a lot of celebration, freedom. What does freedom mean to you as we celebrate July 4th in 250 years?
That's a great question. I think for me, the first two things I think of is, one, religious freedom. I'm not so naive. Like, I know because of the phone, right? I know that there's people that are in other countries who literally get targeted for just trying to open the Bible. Mm-hmm. And so the ability to I can go to some stranger on the street and say, hey, do you know that Jesus loves you? Like, and he likes you. That is amazing. And then having other friends who have been in the service, the stuff, everyone thinks that freedom is free. Mm-hmm. My father-in-law always used to say, like, hey, there's no free lunches. Let's pump the brakes when someone says it's free. And realizing just like people paid for this, with their lives, with their limbs, with a lot of stuff. They paid for this. And so just being thankful and remembering, like, not from the shame side, but someone always has it harder. So we think, oh, woe is me. I couldn't make a sale today. Someone lost their life defending that freedom that you have to go out there and sell stuff. Yeah. And like, not using that view of like, well, I should just, woe is me, but like really taking it, because we all have an expiration date. Mm-hmm. So many of it, I pick up my loaf of bread and I say, okay, well, it expires on July 4th. Okay. I know that I need to use it by that date. We all have one, but so often we think, oh, it's 40, 50 years from now. And so we think, well, I can do that thing, the thing that God said, hey, you should probably do. I'll do that in 5 years. Or like once Jimmy's grown, or once Teresa graduates. Why? Like, I mean, think of anyone in history, like, that died too soon. Yep. My mom was 46 when she passed away. And at the time I was 20. I didn't realize how young that was, but I'm 36 now. And like, that was 16 years ago. And it's crazy to me how fast and how young she was, but how fast life goes. Yes. And that's my thing. Like, if God's put it on your heart, it doesn't matter what it is. Yes. If it, like, I keep using I use the homeschool education thing. There's a lady here locally, and she was just kind of just sharing what she does, but also sharing inadvertently, well, I'm struggling to do this and this and this, and I can't make money off it. I said, hey, what if there was a platform? I'm thinking Skool in the background. I said, what if there was a place where you could take people, they could download your stuff, and you make money just at 2 a.m. What if, oh, would that be cool? But I don't think it exists. And just being able to share, hey, there's this thing already. It's called Skool, and you can create a community on there. Like at the time, it was $99 a month. I said, now it's $9 a month for the hobby one. And you can build this thing, have a community where people are already raising their hand and saying, well, hey, Pete, what about this? Can you teach on this? Like, I'm having an issue with my microphones. Can you recommend a better one? Like, I've never heard of this streaming platform here, StreamYard. I've never heard of it. And so, like, just create it. It's not Field of Dreams. Like, don't build it, they'll come. But just build something. Take progress every day towards what God's called you to do. And just watch it. Like, that's my thing. I always tell people, hey, just commit, be here a year from now and watch what happens.
Yeah.
You know, because everyone else is going to quit.
Yeah.
If you don't, you win.
Yeah. There's so much truth to that. And, you know, when we look at our journey, people spend money on their hobbies.
Yeah.
Like you talked about the different ones when you think of memes, whatever people like, they'll spend money on it. Right. And so if you enjoy something, let people support it through that journey, because people love community, and they love just learning more about something that they're interested in. So it makes so much sense. But you're right. I had to kind of go through a mental shift because I was so anti-social media, because I saw so much. I started in social media years ago when they first started. So I know the system, and there's so much out there where people are doing the judgment call. They see something. So I just was anti that. But when Skool came out, I just thought it was another one of those platforms, until you discover how much it's just opening up opportunities for people all over the world doing what they love to do.
Yeah.
What would you say is your biggest challenge right now? If you had to say, this is something that, you know, it's not an obstacle that you can't work through, but what are you looking at? Because you look at your challenges. What's challenging you right now?
I think so. Like, we started our Skool group, and at first it was, you know, we tried the free model, and then we tried like a lower tier above that, or a slightly higher tier, and we built our Skool group to over 500 members, and then we're like, well, no one's converting, like no one's bumping up to the paid one. What the heck? No one's involved, and so we totally, you know, prayed about it, but we removed, with their permission, we removed over 450 people. And got very, very specific on who we serve. And what's weird is our MRR, our monthly recurring revenue, went up $1,000 when we did that, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And so like it's our biggest challenge is still, our group is called The Shift. So we help people realize, so many people with headlight restoration, they think, well, it's a $50, it's a $75 service. And at the same time, well, I can't charge a lot because the guy down the street can do it for 30. You know, Walmart does it for 35. Sam's Club does it for $40. But helping people realize, just like you said, like that mindset shift of going, like take them really quickly through that journey and that shift of, that's fine, but you can actually charge a premium. It's like what I love. We help you get to the point where your starting price is $199. And the headlights are the same, whether you're here, Florida, Maine, it doesn't matter. That's the same car. And I mean, you can use whatever products you want, but like I found a product that works amazing and gives consistent results. So I just tell everyone, hey, use this product. This is what you can charge. The market is not the issue. And helping them realize, if all you did was one extra set a day at $200, just one, that's $6,000 a month. Like, and really drawing it out on paper, like, hey, it might be a thought in your head, but just making posts about it so they can physically see it and encourage them, hey, write this down. Like, what if you charged $100 and you did this many numbers a day? Like, write it out so that they can see the actual visual and kind of just take the scariness out of the number. So like, that's our challenge, is just me becoming better, so that if you're new and you come in, if your financial blueprint around headlights is way down here, how do I effectively, quickly get you to the point where you see this as the new normal? And that way, this happens till today. Someone calls you because maybe they found you some other way. They call you, hey, how much is it for this? I tell them the price. That way they don't say, holy cow, like, that's expensive. And even if they do, it doesn't hurt your feelings, because there's more than enough money to go around. There's more than enough vehicles to go around. Someone is literally praying for you to show up. I stopped counting, but I've had so many people, when I restore their lights, at the end, they come out and they see it and they give me a huge hug. I've had several like elderly ladies that will give me a hug crying, like bawling their eyes out. And I'm thinking, like, what's this lady going through? And then she shares how she's been terrified to drive at night because she couldn't see. And then now, and she also had been to the shop and they quoted her, $1,000, $2,000 to replace these lights. Yeah. Because they're given the OEM price. Yeah. Plus the labor. And she's, well, I'm on a fixed income. There's no way I can spend $2,000. And then a friend or, next door app, something like that, she finds me. I make her lights look brand new. And she's literally emotional because she can drive again. And it's like, what? So people they underestimate the power of what their service is. Doesn't matter what it is. And that I just like, it blows my mind how God just continues to just work through me. And as we're faithful to share what we do is, it doesn't matter if it's the 5 people who have messaged me saying, hey, I was planning to remove myself from this earth. I came across your stuff and now I'm staying. Or the high school kid who's like, now I just made $1,000 last month or last week. And now I don't have to go get a job. Because a lot of these guys, they're like, hey, my mom said I should go get a job at this place. My dad said I should go get a job at this place. But they don't want to do that. The parents that are pressured, hey, go be a doctor, go be this. And the kids just messaging me saying, hey, I have no desire to do that thing, but this looks like something that would be fun. Yeah. And so it's, I'm 36, but if I shaved, I look like I'm 17. So I keep this to give some like, oh, he's older. But being able to just speak into these kids' lives. Yes. And say, hey, by the way, your parents are not dumb. Like, bring them into this journey, show them what you kind of want to do. Yeah. And also just know, like, they're probably going to be against this. Before you talk to them, go prove them wrong, if you will. Say, hey, mom, I just did these. I just made $2,000 in the last 2 weeks. Like, this is a real thing. Because that, I know, like, their parents are thinking, headlights, you can't make money doing that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like, you could make $100,000 with headlights in 6 months. Yeah. Like, and take half a year off. And so they just don't know, because it's something that their awareness is not there, like school. Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's one of those things. It's like you said, we're educating people to go work for somebody to just be just a little bit over broke. When if you can be more that entrepreneurial, create your own business, create your own opportunity, you're going to be so much better off. But we've been conditioned that we got to go this route, changing that mindset and allowing people the freedom to go out there and create whatever they want to create. Just makes it exciting. Are you using any technology with what you're doing? Have you embraced anything that's helped you that you would share with us? Yeah, I mean, when I started, it was just my iPhone. I think I had an iPhone. I know I had an iPhone 4 when I started. My wife had the fancier one at the time, and I was like, no, I'm good. I was homeschooled growing up, so I didn't have a lot of tech. And so I was like, man, the iPhone 4 is as fast as I need. I would load something that she'd send me, and she's like, just look at it on my phone, because it was taking so long to load. Yeah. But I just use an iPhone. I have literally a $20 neck mount that's flexible with a magnetic piece. Yeah. That I would stick my phone on, and that would give me that POV, that point of view, so they could see both my hands. And then as I've done more of this, I've gotten things like cheap microphones and nothing more. The mics I use are the Mayono Wave T5s. They're like typically $90 on sale. Mm-hmm. I literally have a camping light right now that's my light. So like, people think you got to have, which there is a place for like the fancy stuff, right? No, but you don't have to have the fancy stuff. Exactly. You don't have to have it. Yes. My thing is, we've all heard this probably, but like, you don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. Yeah. Like, if you just think, well, one day I'm just going to start this thing and I'll be really good. No, you gotta I get comments, and I laugh at this now. I get comments on my videos all the time. Oh, bro is just reusing the same audio every time. I record it every time. But the reason why I take it as a compliment, the reason why they say I'm using the same one is because I say it over and over and over.
Yeah.
You know, here's how to make $200 in under 3 minutes. The first step is, and I go through the whole process.
Yeah.
The reason why is like I found something that worked on the metric side, you know, the back end of your video. Yeah. That's the tech that I would say to use. When you post 10 videos, go look at the metrics after they've been up for a few weeks and say, okay, well, when are they dropping off in my video? Okay, 26 seconds in. What was I saying in those 26 seconds and that made them stay? And then after that, what made them drop? Was it something on the screen? Like really analyze your videos and then do more of that.
Yes.
You know, I didn't know this, but I had a coach of mine who coached a stand-up comedian who's really big. They shall remain nameless. And I asked him one time, I said, how come this guy, like every show this guy does, the whole hour and a half set is just, you know, I guess the kids now, they say it was a banger, like it was an awesome show. Every joke is hilarious. The whole crowd's laughing. You know, this guy has a Netflix special. And he said, well, how they do it is they do a ton of volume on shows. The ones that aren't filmed, they're testing out new jokes. And so the audience laugh at that. Let's put it in the next set. And then before you know it, that's when they have a 90-minute set of every joke is having the audience crying, laughing so hard because they've analyzed the back end metrics, if you will, and they know. And so like do that with that's the biggest tech that I would say is on a very simple note, make sure your camera lens is wiped off. Don't have a fuzzy screen because you've got grease on there from taking a phone call. And then as you get better, like get a small light. If you don't have a light, do a selfie video in front of your back door where the light's coming in. You know, just be aware of that stuff. Don't look at the screen like this. Like, hey guys, today's, you know, like don't do that. You know, whenever I FaceTime my grandma.
So many clues out there if you just look, watch, and learn. And you know, you're right about I know a comedian too, and he does all the shows, and it's all testing. It's reps. It's just finding it because you might think the joke is funny and it bombs.
Right.
And then the next one, it just everybody cracks up, and you thought that wasn't much, but they tell you what they like if you just listen to what they're telling you.
Prime example of that, to date, my number one performing video, I keep it pinned because I know it does well. I almost did not post it. I'm not even kidding. This lady's carport had no lights in her carport.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, guys, I'm literally in my garage right now, but I have a good light and I have a microphone. That's all I have. And I have a tripod with my phone on it. But I almost didn't post it because her garage had no lighting. The video was terrible. I literally had my flashlight. It's a nice flashlight, but I had it taped. The tape that I used to tape off the lights, I had my flashlight taped to my tripod stand. And I said, I'm not going to post it. I posted that video. Actually, I just looked at the date. So today's the 18th. I posted that video on June 16th. So just over a year ago. Over 10 million views. And for some reason, Instagram took off this metric. But last time I looked, it was over 7 years of watch time of people watching that video.
Wow.
But here's the crazy part. That one video, I've gained over 47,000 new followers from that one video in a year.
Mackerel.
And so after a certain time, you can repost it. So, you know, repost it when you can. Take the same video and change it a little bit, share it.
Yeah.
And I almost didn't even repost it because I've changed my process since then. I use different chemicals now.
Yeah.
But the fundamentals are the same. Like the process is still the same, just a different chemical.
Yeah.
And so when someone said, hey, well, what are you using? Hey, actually, I use this now. Same idea, but better. You know, it's like, oh, it's a 5-pound weight. I've actually upgraded. Now I use a 20-pound weight. It's like same techniques.
Yeah.
Different weight. And so that I tell everybody, post the video when you don't like your voice. Post it when you don't like what you said. Post it when you messed up and you stuttered and you called a Kia a Hyundai or whatever, these wrong things. Like post it anyways, because you never know. And I'm going to try not to get emotional when I say this, but you never know what you're going to post that someone's going to watch and it will change that person's life.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
that is such a great lesson of when you plant that seed, you never know if it's going to grow. You never know if it's going to connect, but just plant it because if just to your testimony of just talking about that video. So many times we just make that decision that, this isn't good enough, or whatever we say, and we don't allow it to do what it can do out there.
Right.
Andrew, I want to be respectful of your time. I know that with 4 kids, a family, and a business, and growing, tell our viewers, how can they get a hold of you? And then I have one final question.
Yeah, so on all the socials, it's just how to restore headlights. It'll pop up. YouTube is the smallest following, so you may have to just no spaces, how to restore headlights. We're going to be doing way more YouTube videos, so if you want to learn how to do this, that's the place. The place that I'm most active, if you want to message me, it's headlightrestorationschool.com. That takes you to our Skool page, and Skool is spelled the traditional way. Headlightrestorationschool.com, and that's where you can find me. The easiest is on the Skool page.
Awesome. What would be the one thing you would want our viewers to take home from our time from this podcast?
And I love that question. I started smiling immediately because I know exactly what I'm answering. It's just that God loves you. He sees you. He's got a massive plan for your life. And like, even cooler than the God loves you, because we've probably all heard like, hey, Jesus loves you. He likes you, and he wants to spend time with you, and he wants to know your heart. And, you know, if someone's far away and they're like, you know what, screw that whole God thing, I'm not about it. What I would just encourage you is just ask him, like, hey, God, would you show up? Like, if you're real, I'm going to like come to your situation. Like, if you're real, God, show up. And so like, that's my prayer, is that God would show up and show off for you. That it's the simplest thing. Like, maybe you're thinking he doesn't exist, and that person in your Starbucks line or your Chick-fil-A drive-thru line pays for your food in front of you, and just simple things that are real to you. You know, it's maybe it's the stranger that comes up to you at Target and gives you a hug. It says, hey, you know, you matter. That'd be my biggest thing that they would take away, that, you know, we're all here for a short time, but you're not alone. Like, seriously, like, because I remember I got this tattoo on my arm right here that says nothing. It literally says nothing, for Romans 8:38-39. And that verse says, basically the synopsis or the cliff notes is, no matter where you go, no matter where you run, God's always there. Like, you can never outrun God's love. So no matter how far you think you've gone, God's still pursuing you and chasing you, and says, that's my son, that's my daughter, and I love you.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much, Andrew. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Spending time with us. Thank you much. We appreciate it. And we will be in touch. Thank you.
Yeah. Have a great day.